I'd like to call the Johnson County Board of Education meeting to order for November 20th, 2017. At this point in time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Palmer.
Tonight, to begin, lead us in pledge, we have two 8th grade students who are part of the state championship football team, Grant Rice and Andrew Burchett. Boys, please come up, please, to the pledge. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mission statement: ultimate education experience for every child, every day. Vision: an innovative school district focused on learning without boundaries. Core values: integrity, leadership, commitment, and service. Thank you. Item 3, Mr. Palmer.
Tonight, as we do every month, we want to recognize a group of students. Tonight we have with us members of the middle school football team, 8th grade being crowned as football state champs again, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Easted.
Thanks for inviting us, and to the board, thanks for everything that you allow us to do. Thanks to the parents and to these coaches, and especially these young men. It's a long grind, a long season. They fought hard and earned what they set as their goal from the beginning of the year. And both groups, 7th and 8th grade, are both here. And I'm going to turn it over to Coach Holbrook. They can talk a little bit about the season for both 7th and 8th grade football teams. A little bit about the kids and then and some of the coaches that's here with us.
First, we just want to talk about the guys here. We'll talk with the 7th grade team. This is the first year we've ever, as a middle school, have sent both teams to the state championship, the Final Four. This year would be the first time in the history we've ever done that. That's always our goal every year, is to start to go to the Final Four. The 7th grade team got all the way to the Final Four, had a great season. I think they lost twice all year. Just an unbelievable group of kids that we're looking really forward to coming back next year and trying to get to that state championship. We're telling them, just like last year, as 7th graders, this 8th grade coach also didn't win the 7th grade, so we're going to try to get those guys back and win the 8th grade with them. A little bit about the 8th grade, and probably the most improved team I've ever coached here, and I've been here a while. I never would have, my wildest dreams, believed that they would go 15-0 and win a state championship. That was always our goal. But if you'd have told me at the start of the year, I would have never believed that. I mean, I wanted to always install it in them to believe it, and they actually bought into it and became a great team. As you'll know, some of the guys here, great students, just great kids to be around, great disciplined kids, great leaders, and they're the future, of our county, and hopefully the future of our football team. We've had this program going a long time. Hopefully they'll keep going. Just like the ones that we've had in the past, this was our 5th state championship. We've won 3 8th and 2 7th, and you can see at the high school now as what our program has led into. As last year, as winning the high school state championship, and hopefully this year again winning the state championship. I want to thank the parents, our administrators, Mr. Easton, Mr. Castle, Mr. Hall, and Ms. Davis. Just great to work with. Great people to work with. My coaches, I got the best coaches in the world. I mean, volunteer guys spend time. Just unreal, unbelievable coaches. And we want to thank you guys for allowing us to do everything we've done. We appreciate it.
Guys, if all the 7th graders will come up here and kind of feed yourselves in behind the board members there. 7th graders first. We'll do both groups. All the 7th graders come in first.
Here.
I'm going to do them all. Want to get all of them in 3 steps?
Yeah, just do them all.
Okay, guys. I'll take more than that.
All the eighth graders. All around.
We're right beside you.
Yeah, it's true.
Some of you guys.
We got one shot.
She can't get you, it's too wide. They just follow your directions.
Good and bad.
You get it? Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Guys, we're very proud of all you've done, all your hard work. Please join me in giving another big round of Now, you all are welcome to stay for this whole meeting if you want to. Please. Thanks,
He's coming home tonight. His classes were canceled for tomorrow, and there's no classes for the rest of the week, so he'll be home tonight. Thanks, Junior.
Moving down to the next item number 4. I can get a motion to approve the minutes from October 24th. We'll back up on that. Thanks, Melvin.
All right. Moving on, each month we do honor one certified person, one classified person with the Golden Eagle Award. These people are nominated by their peers, and they are recognized as going above and beyond the call of duty for our school and our students. We'll start tonight with our certified winner, recipient for the month. This person pours her heart and soul into everything she does. And everything she does for the benefits of students, both in the classroom and in extracurricular events. She's led the Johnson County Middle School academic team to 14 state Governor's Cup championships, as well as international titles for SPS and CMPS. The Kentucky Association for Academic Competitions inducted. She may have been lied to get her here. Come on up, Miss Burke. Come on up. Let me finish reading now. She got her away from her daughter so she wouldn't whip her. All right. She's been inducted to the Kentucky Academic Hall of Fame in recognition of her achievements in KAAC. As the district gifted talent coordinator, and Johnson County Middle School academic coach. She goes above and beyond every day for her students and teams. Each and every day, she arrives at school well before most and stays late into the evening. Miss Burton has made her students, team, and school her life, and she's very deserving of the Golden Eagle Award.
Woo! Smile right here real quick.
Over here.
Both of us, yeah.
Smell both ways.
Get-
When I want to.
Look at Valerie first. Now look over here. I told Mr. Cochran was gonna be mad when he found out Zoe wasn't getting an award. Mad at all of us.
Yeah, but she deserves to be.
Zoe does
Well, I know, she does, but she's a good actor, so she does.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, now, I want you to stay here because after the other one, I want to get a picture of
Okay.
us,
Can I
okay?
go over here?
Yeah, sure. Now, our next part, our classified person for the month. We've tried for 3 months to get her here, and she stood me up for 2 times, and now I finally got her here. Miss Wilda Baldwin has been a dedicated employee at Johnson County High As you're coming up, I'm gonna read what the people who nominated you said. Wilda is the ideal employee. She never complains. She always goes above and beyond her job and does it to the best of her ability. She always has a welcoming smile on her face and treats everyone the same. It doesn't matter if it is a child or an adult. She treats everyone equally with a happy smile, most peaceful demeanor, and utmost courtesy. The world could certainly use a lot more Wildas. She's a true servant. It would be a much better place if we all could strive to be a little more like her. Thank you, Wilda, for all that you've done and continue to do for all of us.
No, look here.
There you go.
Look right here.
Let's look at the picture.
We go around.
Okay, thank you.
1, 2, 3. You get them?
Now, both of you all get behind. Oh, boy.
You talking about the award?
Huh? I know as they get behind there, I will. You realize these awards were made by students from high school?
3D.
3D printer, yes, that is exactly right, and painted by the art program.
That's awesome.
All right, and donated, the base was donated by Castles and Jewelry.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh.
Oh, what do we do?
Hoping against one.
Oh, no.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you both so
Item 4, I'd like to get a motion to approve the minutes from October 23rd, 2017 regular meeting, November 2nd, 2017 special call meeting, and bills and payroll through November the 16th. Motion's been made by Melvin. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Farley. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll go down to the renovation report. Item 5A, I'm going to ask for a motion to table 5A till the next meeting.
So maybe.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5B, Mr. Adams.
I have with me today Trevor and Jerry from CMTA. I'm going to allow Trevor a few minutes to explain the progress report of our construction up to this point, and then I'm going to recommend that we approve the third installment of this payment. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Trevor.
Thank you for letting me speak tonight. The current status of the project is we intend on turning over the second floor of the Phase 1 restroom renovation at the start of next week, with the downstairs portion of Phase 1 to follow several days after, based on how we're staggering the floor install. Pod 2 for Central Elementary is currently underway. Will be completed the end of next week as well, or the beginning of that following week. Lighting is now moved on from the high school to the middle school. We're currently making sure that we install as many LED tubes as possible to maximize the rebate before December 15th. And then we'll come back and work on exterior fixtures, gym lights, and exterior pole lights as well. And then controls hardware install is currently going on at Central Elementary School, where the majority of the hardware portion needs to be installed. And we're working on the design of the remaining schools, which will be an integration for the rest. So that's the current status of the project. And if you have any questions, then feel free to answer.
Bob, I'd like to commend Trevor and Jerry, Mr. Cocker, myself, and around the schools Thursday, and they worked real well with Mr. Adams, and on a real good job. I commend them for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback.
So again, I do recommend we make the third installment of this. We are
Thank you.
on.
Is there a motion? Motion's made, is there a second? Motion's made and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. 6A, Ms. Patton.
Yes, at our last meeting, I was not able to attend, but I was able to Skype with you guys and give you some feedback on how our students performed on the K-Prep assessment. If you recall, we did not get an overall score because they are no longer giving us overall scores. So now tonight what I want to do is give you a little bit of information and guidance about what this new accountability system is going to look like, and it's very different from what we've been used to these past few years. So I included at your desk, at your laptop, a 2-page document, and it's called Kentucky Accountability at a Glance. This is the latest document that the Kentucky Department of Education has produced that goes along with this new accountability model. If you look halfway down the page, you can see the proposed indicators and measures. This is what's proposed at this time, but there might be some changes along the way, and I will prepare you for that if that happens. So the first column of proficiency, that indicator, that's going to be how do our students do in reading and language arts and math. The next indicator, the separate academic indicator, that will be how do students perform in science and social studies. And then the next one, the growth, does a student, when compared to itself, show growth from one year to the next? So it's not comparing a student to a whole school, but it's comparing that student to that student from one year to the next, which is it's a nice addition. The graduation rate, of course, will still be a part of the accountability. Are we graduating enough students successfully and have a very small dropout rate? And then transition readiness, how are students transitioning from high school to adulthood, and even so far as from kindergarten, or from preschool into kindergarten, and from 7th and 8th grade into high school, from 6th grade into the middle school. So they're going to be looking at how do districts transition students from one grade span to another. And then are we closing the achievement gap? And you know, in our district, the achievement gap is students with who are eligible for free and reduced lunch, as well as special needs students. We have a very high population of special needs students in our district. And I think we're about 70% at the poverty level, Mr. Cochran, 68 to 70%. And then if you look on the back page, something very interesting that's been added is opportunity and access. So we're not just looking at how students perform on a week-long test, but we are also looking at what kind of rich curriculum does the Johnson County school system provide the students. Are they doing everything they can, not only in reading, writing, math, science and social studies, but also how about the visual and performing arts and physical education, the cultural studies and world language, and then the essential skills to be successful in life. And so there's going to be a point system to, are you really preparing the whole child? So we're not just looking at that one test, but we're looking at the curricular programs that we offer our students in Johnson County. And then also looking at the whole child, do we have a nurse in our schools? Do we have family resource center directors in our schools? Do we have counselors in our schools? And so then a point system will be provided for that as well. And then in the past, we've been labeled as distinguished proficient or needs improvement. And we in Johnson County, we have been distinguished since the 2011-12 school year. This was the first year that it wasn't even a part, those labels weren't provided. But from here on out, there'll be nothing like that. There'll be a 5-star rating. You'll get 5 stars, 4 stars, 3, 2, or 1, depending on how you stand with all of those things that I just talked about. It's very different. And then a new addition to all of this is, if you look at the last page, what you see is a dashboard. This dashboard model will be what the public will be able to see if they click on to Johnson County, and this will start in the 2018-19 school year. So that overall rating there on the left, that will be that that star rating that you get. And then they'll take each component of this new accountability model, and the gauge there will move, and you can see from one year to the next how students are doing. The data that you see there, any numbers you see in there, that's simply mock data. That's not, it says the graduation rate for the school is 86%. That is not Johnson Central High School, so that's all just mock data. So this is what the future of accountability is going to look like. Some similarities to what we've had the past few years, but some major differences as well. So just wanted to share that with you. It was pretty hard on me to not be able to tell you, are we distinguished, needs improvement or whatever. I couldn't. There was no way that you could tell. And matter of fact, the commissioner, he really, for those that did try to put a label on, he really told them that they shouldn't have been doing that because they were just making some numbers up. It wasn't factual information. So as we learn more information about the new accountability model, I'll be sharing it with you guys, so you'll be in the know. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have 6B, Mr. Cochran.
The Kentucky Department of Education is getting ready to come out with a new grant to improve children's literacy skills, and we'd like to ask for permission to apply for it. And also, when it does come out, we'd also like to have permission to let Resource Associates write it if they can find us a sponsor, which would be at no cost to the district.
Thank you. Is there a motion to do so?
Before we do that, White Gap and W.R. Castle want to do a Delta Dental grant as well.
Let's go ahead and do that district-wide, too, please.
Yes.
Ms. Ward, did you have anything you need to say on that for?
Both Highland and W.R. Castle would like to apply for that, and it brings groups from Louisville into our schools and gives our kids some additional exposure to the arts.
If we could district-wide, it'd be great.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve with changes?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, item C, Ms. Goble.
Since our last board meeting, we had a renewal for our work comp insurance. We recommend that you continue the services with the Grinnell and Hickman County. The premium just went up a minimum amount from last year.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the recommendations?
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Ms. Rice.
Yes, she's in a conference right now, but there's 2 students that the doctors deem that they need shortened days to help them with their educational path, and she has included the documentation in your information. So we just need to approve for 2 shortened day requests for two shortened days for 2 students.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Motion's made, second. Motion's made and second. Any discussion? If there be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Mr. Sayer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, I'm here tonight to recommend that we join a partnership between KSBA and Felon Report, which is now trained. What they do is they are a buyer and a seller of energy and all this type of deal. But back in 2012, I'll give you some information where to find things. Back in 2012, KSBA entered a partnership with them for them to be able to go out and negotiate natural gas rates. At the time, it was 27 districts. Now it's 90. So the buying power that we're able to have, we can go out there representing 90 districts when we go out there to try to get natural gas rates to us. The great thing about that is they negotiate a 2 or a 3-year type contract with the various districts. And it costs the districts nothing to be a part of this. But what they do is they negotiate with suppliers and things and come back to us with rates to be able to fix rate for a certain amount of period of time. To give you an example, Martin and Lawrence County are both on that. And where they had fixed in rates for the last 2 years, they've both been able to receive a close to about 20% savings in the 2 years because natural gas prices have gone up, but they were locked in at the fixed rate. Now that we've made the conversion from going from coal to natural gas, we will be able to qualify to be a part of this partnership with KGAP, which will be inclusive into the 90 other district or 89. And it's my recommendation that we join this group here to where we can be able to have a fixed rate. And this is basically for them to be able to negotiate those rates for us to bring back for you all's approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Motion's made, is there a second? Second. Motion's made and second, any discussion? If there'll be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer, for everything you've done for the school system on saving us some money, making us more efficient and effective.
What we doing?
Next item, approved use of 2 district buses. Mr. Cotter.
In the past, the board has approved 2 buses for use of Special Olympics. We're asking the same this year. It is on December the 1st.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? So made. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Mr. Crum.
Okay, we've got one community use, that's middle school though, but as far as high school only, we've got just out trips, and we've got the dance team at the Lexington in December, the student council's annual trip that they're planning to Orlando, which they're going to use a charter bus for that, and our basketball teams are both going to be participating in the Gatlinburg Smoky Mountain Classic, December 20th to the 23rd. That's it.
There was some wrestling.
Oh, the wrestling, that wasn't on this email. Yeah, they sent, we had the whole schedule, I guess, don't you? Yeah, you have the whole wrestling schedule.
It's in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
Thank you. You want to vote on this separately? Okay. Is there a motion to approve Mr. Crum's request?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Eastep.
Yes, our student council requests approval to attend the academic program Newport Aquarium overnight trip on January 15th and the 16th. And also, Mrs. Lutz requests to take our honors band students to for a clinic at Marshall University December the 1st. And then we also have on there, I think our last board meeting we submitted the schedule for wrestling, and there's been a change since then. They did away with our district tournament, so they found another match that they'd like to wrestle in on January the 12th and the 13th in Milton, West Virginia. So we request approval on those 3 out-of-state and or overnight trips.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? So made. Second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Eastep.
I have a request for the use of our facilities for Order of the Eastern Star, and I've had them send me a copy of the liability policy that's already added our venue to that policy for March the 23rd and 24th, and we just ask for your approval to allow them to do that.
Thank you. Is there a motion to do so? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Eastep. Next. Is there another one?
Miss Butcher is at a 6th grade night. She and I have been working with Pierre School, and they are asking for use of the Porter Gym when it is available to practice to keep them from traveling to Knox County while their gym is being built. And they have all the paperwork is in order.
Thank you. So a motion to do so.
So made.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Mr. Young.
I'm here representing W.R. Castle and Mr. Young, and he requested that that W.R. Castle partner with S&S Signs with the selling the school decals as a school-wide fundraiser.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Second? Second. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? We'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Mr. Cochran.
I'm asking the board's permission to have begin discussions with the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, Judge Daniels' office, and Gary McClure to look at funding possibilities to try to add a safety resource officer on campus of Johnson High School and Johnson County Middle School.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve that?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, Mr. Cochran.
Pass those down.
Yes, sir.
Each month, as I have been doing as part of my superintendent internship, I want to talk about standard. This month is Standard 1, Strategic Leadership. I have for you a summary of that standard along with the practices. And then underneath the practices, I have some of the sample activities I've been doing to meet each one of those practices. I won't go over those with you. Be glad to answer any questions. So just for your information.
Thank you, sir. In your package, you also have the superintendent's personnel report. Item 9, I'd like to get approval to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810B to discuss acquisition or sale of property. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Expect no action afterwards. We are now in executive session. We are free to leave.